In the Kouri Richins case, the Utah mom is accused of poisoning her husband and then writing a book about grief.
Defense attorneys had argued that there was zero direct evidence showing that she killed her husband with that massive dose of fentanyl, that the evidence against her was flimsy. But the judge found it solid enough that he allowed the prosecution to proceed with all 11 charges against her, including murder.
March 4th, 2022. A quiet night outside Park City, Utah. A successful businessman, a loving father of 3, lies dead in his bed. His wife, a mother and author, calls 911 just before dawn. The cause, a lethal fentanyl overdose. But as investigators dig deeper, something doesn't add up. What at first appears accidental soon unfolds into a dark tapestry of deception, debt, desire, and death. This is the story of Kouri Richins, a mother, a writer, and the woman a jury would later find guilty of murdering her husband. Kouri and Eric Richins married in 2013. 3 sons followed, Carter, Ashton, and Weston, forming a picture of a stable Utah family. Eric, 39, ran his masonry and pool business. Kouri worked in real estate, flipping houses. On the surface, success. Behind it, stress. But as real estate markets shifted, cracks appeared. Kouri's ventures began to strain, mounting debt into the millions. According to court testimony, she owed more than $1.8 million to lenders. Eric, aware of financial misuse, took steps to protect his estate, removing Kouri from insurance benefits and establishing a trust for their children. The household that once shared laughter now watched tension grow, private and unseen by neighbors. Even as Kouri privately rekindled a relationship with a former boyfriend, Eric's suspicion deepened. In the early hours of March 4th, Kouri told 911 she found Eric unresponsive after preparing him a drink, a Moscow Mule cocktail. He was pronounced dead at the scene. But there was something foreign in the toxicology report. Medical examiners found 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in Eric's system, a powerful synthetic opioid he had no history of using or needing. At first, authorities treated the death as a tragic overdose, but questions began to spiral. The same month, earlier in February, a Valentine's Day dinner left Eric ill, a moment he later told a friend felt off. Police records allege a sandwich that night may also have been laced with drugs. Suspicion mounted, and investigators began piecing together a mosaic of online searches, including queries about narcotics, lethal doses, and even questions about prison conditions. Texts between Kouri and her secret lover, sent just hours before Eric's death, further unsettled the timeline. "I just want to lay on the couch and cuddle," one read, followed later by "love you" on the night Eric would die. In March 2023, a full year after Eric's death, Kouri published a children's book titled "Are You With Me?" It explored grief through the eyes of a child whose father watches over him like an angel. Local media praised the heartfelt mission to help children process loss. Interviews, bookstore promotions, community acclaim, until the police arrested Kouri just weeks later. What prosecutors called artistic courage, investigators saw differently, a carefully crafted facade. They argued the book was not only untimely, but strategic. In February 2026, after years of investigation and delays, the case went to trial. Prosecutors presented over 40 witnesses, friends, family, forensic experts, and the couple's financial records. They argued that Kouri had purchased fentanyl in large quantities, had secretly taken out insurance policies on Eric without his knowledge, and stood to gain millions from his death. Even more chilling, jurors heard about a prior attempt, the Valentine's Day incident, where Eric became violently ill after dinner. The defense maintained Kouri's innocence, arguing the overdose might have been accidental and that no direct evidence showed how fentanyl got into Eric's drink. Kouri herself declined to testify. After just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict, guilty on all counts: aggravated murder, attempted murder, insurance fraud, and more. Today, Kouri Richins awaits sentencing, facing 25 years to life in prison. Her book, once a symbol of healing, now stands as a haunting relic of a life torn apart. The couple's children, young boys who lost a father and now a mother to incarceration, live with family members far from the home where it all began. In this case, the lines between grief and guilt, art and deception, love and survival blur into something unrecognizable. A reminder that sometimes the most tragic stories hide behind the most comforting words.